How y'all doing today? Today subject is going to be America's diversity or diversity in America. There are many topics we could talk about on this situation, but I choose to bring up three major ones, and that's race, religion, and women's rights. There are 6 racial categories in America: white American, Native American, African American, Native Hawaiian, Alaska Native, Pacific Islanders, and Asian Americans. Now, of these races, white Americans make up 77% of the population. Hispanics make up 17.1% of the population, and African Americans make up 13.2% of the population. As in my pie graph, it shows you that the blue is representing the white American with 77.7% of U.S. population, and the red is representing Hispanic, which is 17.1% of the population, and the green is represented by African American, which is 13.1% of the population. Also, as we should abide by his race, by 2042, minorities will make up the majority of the U.S. population. Also, another thing we can look at, white Americans will go from 77.7% to 45% of population by the year of 2042. Now, this is just a predicted terminology. Moving on to my second topic, and this is religion. There are vast religions in the U.S., but the major makeup of religion as we know it is Christianity. But we're going to break down Christianity a little bit by going, we got Protestants are 37%, Catholics 23%, Mormons 2%, other type of Christians 10%, you know, your Baptists or whatnot. You have your Jewish, that's 2%, and your others, that is 6%, and 16% just doesn't believe in anything, and 4% had no answer whatsoever. The majority of Americans are some sort of Christianity. That's 17%. And I have you to know that Pentecostal, Moorish Science, and Scientology were founded in America, and that's just to name a few. 16% of Americans have no religion. That will be a continuance of religion decline in the generations that comes to pass. Right here we have our religious affiliation by generation. As we already discussed it in human relations, the boomers and the generation X is going to be our generation. Although I did take in consideration to give you the saline and the millennials on here, as you can see. And the colors are graphing that any religion is blue, unaffiliated is red, and green is not sure. And as you can see, as time progresses to millennials, you'll see the lackage of any religion is at about 70% right here. So it's going to decline as time moves along. Women's rights is my third and last thing I'm going to talk about, and I'm just going to give you a brief history and timeline of women's rights and how they progressed their feminism. 1850 was the first National Women's Rights Convention. 1669, the National Women's Suffrage Association was born. 1893, Colorado adopts amendment for women's right to vote. 1896, National Association of Colored Women formed. 1903, Nation of Women's Trade Union was formed, and that was to get better pay and better hours for women in the labor union. In 1920, the amendment granting women rights to vote was passed. 1935, Mary McLeod Bethune, my ancestor, organizes the National Council of Negro Women. 1963, Congress passes the Equal Pay Act for women. 1964, Equal Opportunity Employment Commission was formed. And in 1972, the Equal Rights Amendment was passed. In 1984, the Emily's List was created. And in 2013, women can combat in wars. That has been signed since 2013. Now, in conclusion to my presentation, what we should have learned is race and ethnicities in America, the percentage and future prediction of diversity of race in America, the several religions in America, the declining of religion by generation, and the women's rights and the accomplishments of females in history. That is what we should be concluded in my presentation. And I also have the bibliography right here, just in case you want to do your own research after looking. And I thank you for tuning in with me. I'm out.